Chieko Kida, J. Richard Teague, Ejiro Yamashita, George Yano, Naoe Yagara, Sandra Sachiko Takashima, Fumiko Shiranaka, Kiyoshi Shinsato, Emi Fujimoto, Richard Shizuo Watanabe, Frank Yamada, Seiichi Shimizu, Tomotsu Matsumoto, Ichiji Ochi, Kunishimada, Kyoji Otomo, Yuro Shiraishi, Tomotsu Ojiri, Yuka Yamanokuchi, Midori Morimoto, Gitaro Hataue, Toichi Okamura, Kikuyo Kawasaki, Tsune Tsubota, Shigeo Fujimoto, Toshiko Yamada, Yozo Kawato, Rokuichi Hanano, Jukichi Yamanishi, Shojiro Samishima, Yukino Samashira, Shizu Moriyama, Shigeyuki Furuya, Matsue Morita, Hideo Iwata, Goichiro Hasayama, Isano Sugioka, Toichi Kodama, Hajime Yonekura, Minetaro Hosaka, Akito Matsui, Nobuko Ito, Masami Ito, Mika Sato. Again, you're invited to come and offer incense for departed friends and loved ones, whether I read their name today or not.
Reverend Smitty will now lead the sutra chanting of the Jusei-ge, which can be found on page 35 of the service book.
세간 이시무조도 시간 후만족 세후조쇼가 가오무료코 후이다이세슈 후사쇼빈구 세후조쇼각 가시조분도 묘쇼초지포 극효미쇼몬 세후조쇼각 리오쿠진쇼넨 조에슈본교 시그무조도 이쇼테닌시 진리키엔다이코 후쇼무사이도 쇼소산쿠묘 호사이슈야쿠난 가히치에겐 메시콘모안 해소쿠쇼아쿠도 트다텐젠슈몬 고소조만족 이오로지포 니치간슈주키 텐코온푸겐 이슈카이 호조 고세쿠도쿠호 조오다이슈추 세포시시쿠 후요이사이부 구소쿠슈토쿠혼 가네신조만 토쿠이산가요 뇨분무게치 트닷미후쇼 간가쿠에릭 도시사쇼손 시간야코카 다이센 오칸도 오쿠쇼테닌 토진요케 나만다부 Sho, Namanda, 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 Namanda.
Will the Sangha please rise if you are able for the recitation of the Golden Chain on page 90 of our service book. I am a link in Amita's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I will keep my link bright and strong. I will be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. May every link in Amita's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Please join me in Gasho. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you. You may be seated.
We'll now welcome Dharma School's Junko Kajita and Nancy Martinez with a special presentation to our Dharma School students.
So good morning, everyone. Please join me in Gasho. Shin Buddhism is at heart a path. It is a path of practice, the path of saying the Nembutsu. It is a journey of transformation and growth. But reaching the destination is not the goal. Rather, the purpose of walking the path is simply in the walking. Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo.
Namo Amida Butsu. So thank you. I'm going to try to do this correctly. I'm not the best, as you guys know, so here we go. So, today is our last Sunday family service for the Dharma School year. Can you guys believe it? Did it go fast for you or slow? Can someone tell me something you learned in class this year? Well, I heard, people talk about learning about Lady Eshini and Lady Kakushini. I heard others talk about Gotane and the meaning of Shinran Choni's journey. So, and we learned some basics. What is Buddhism? We learned about change, and we learned about us all being together. So impermanence and interdependence. This year, did you guys help with some kind of activity? Who helped out at temple? Or maybe feeding San Diego or some other community event? I know you guys did. I see several of you in this photo that helped out with preparing the Hanamido for Hanamatsuri, and others who helped with the stuffed animal collection for our interfaith group in San Diego. Oops, how do I go back, Reverend? Pardon me? Back. arrow. Oh, no, is that it? Dharma School, did you make a new friend this year? I see two there in this picture, but this morning, I saw Avery and Junie walking together, making the fruit and floral offering. So I think they made friends this year, right, Avery? Right. So one of the things at Temple we learn is that practice and rituals help us be mindful and grateful for what we have. And some of the ways we do that is by offerings. Offerings help us with appreciation and awareness in words and actions. And some of the things you might not think are offerings or truly are. So by chanting the sutras, we're mindful. Singing gathas, the lighting of the candles on Nonaijin, the fruit and the floral offerings that this pre-K through second grade class did this morning, and the offering of incense during the Shotsuki Hoyo service, and by each day by us doing gasho. So oshoko comes from the word o, meaning respectful. Sho is the burning, and ko is the incense. So it is part of our ritual here at Temple, and one thing that the Dharma School students always participate in. So it's a reminder to live in the moment right now. And this is a historical use of incense was as an air freshener, but here we use it in a different way. So I guess sometimes it does help if things are a little stinky maybe. But today we have a special participation with our Dharma School students, and Miss Junko is going to help us with that. And so I'm looking for Junko. Okay. And she's going to lead this part of our presentation.
Good morning, everyone. So in our pre-K to second grade classroom, that's their first classroom when they attend Dharma School. So we try to teach them some of the basic things, and one of them, the basic things that we want them to learn, is how to do oshoko. So lots of times that could be a scary thing for kids and oftentimes even for adults, because if you're new or you're visiting the temple or you haven't been to temple for a while, you kind of forget how to do oshoko. And there's just a regular steps to do, but if you don't do it exactly that way, excuse me, that's fine. The important part is to offer the incense. So in our pre-K to second grade class, we have a little song that we have been learning, and it's BIGB, the Oshoko song. So the kids really seem to get to have fun with that. So the B stands for bow. So I actually need some helpers. I need 4 helpers to come up and help me to hold these signs. Yay, Junie's going to come up. Flynn, we need Flynn. Hold it so everyone can see it. So the B stands for bow. The first thing you do when you come up to the incense offering is to bow. And then the second thing is to, what is it? incense. So you bow and then you offer incense. You just take a tiny little pinch, put it into the incense burner. And the next thing is to gasho. So that means, gasho means to put your hands in your onenju and you bow. When you bow, both at the beginning and here, I tell the kids to look at your feet. So you shouldn't be looking at the onaijin when you bow and just your body goes down, but your head should be down. That's a sign of respect, right? Honoring and respect. Head down, looking at your shoes. And then the last thing you do, you offer incense, you gasho, and then you step back with your right foot, and then you bow again. Just a slight bow, head down. Okay, so the initials are B, I, G, B. B, bow, incense, gasho, bow. So then we put this to a song, the words to the tune of Frere Jacques. So it goes, you guys want to sing it with us? Or we can all sing it together. So it goes, the tune of Frere Jacques. Thank you, Tricia. B-I-G-B, B-I-G-B, Oshoko, Oshoko. This is how we do it. This is how we do it with gratitude, with gratitude. Bow then incense, bow then incense. Gasho bow, gasho bow. Remember your onenju, remember your onenju. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. So let's sing that again, everybody all together. We'll sing it through twice. You ready? Because the more you say it, it gets into your brain, right? And you remember it. So you do it, you see it, you sing it. All right, here we go. Frere Jacques. B-I-G-B, B-I-G-B, Oshoko, Oshoko. This is how we do it. This is how we do it with gratitude, with gratitude. Bow then incense, bow then incense. Gasho bow, gasho bow. Remember your onenju, remember your onenju. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo, once more. B-I-G-B, B-I-G-B, Oshoko, Oshoko. This is how we do it, this is how we do it with gratitude, with gratitude. Bow then incense, bow then incense. Gasho bow, gasho bow. Remember your onenju, remember your onenju. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you very much. Thank you for volunteering. Thank you. Thank you, thank you.
So thank you so much for participating in that, and maybe that'll stick in your head now. Aya? Okay, so thank you, Ms. Junko and students. So we're just going to continue a little bit further on here. So who can tell me what this number is? 2,681.73. What do you think that is? Do we have any guesses? Oh, Roger has a guess. What's your guess, Roger? Oh, that's pretty good. I didn't even think it's close, because we used to always say it's been about 2,500 years since the birth of the baby Buddha. But that's really close. But sorry, Roger, you're wrong. That is the distance in miles between San Diego and Bethesda, Maryland. So if you look on this map of the United States, We're over all the way on the west coast on the left-hand side of the screen, and Bethesda, Maryland is all the way on the other side of the United States near Washington, D.C. If you were traveling by car, how long would it take you to travel this distance? What do you think in hours? Do you have any guesses? Roger? 52? Okay, anybody else has a guess? 36? Okay. Anybody else? Yes? How much? 29? Okay, guess what? If you're traveling by car at an average speed of 60 miles per hour, it would take you 23 hours and 17 minutes. But guess what? Can you do that without filling up or refueling your vehicle, electric or gas? Can you do that without refueling yourself, getting a break and eating something? No. How about going to the bathroom? Is that important? So I think whatever this distance would be, even though it's only it's less than a day, you couldn't do that big travel in a day. How many hours difference is there between San Diego and Bethesda? Junie, do you have a guess? Yeah, that's right. It's 3 hours in terms of time difference between Bethesda and San Diego. So, when we are beginning our morning service here at Temple at 10 o'clock, it's going to be 1 o'clock in Bethesda, Maryland. So why I'm bringing this all up is because our fellow Sangha members and Dharma School family, Tricia, Aaron, Junie, and Tezrin will be moving to the Bethesda in August. Tricia is going to be working at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center. But what we wanted to let this family know is even though we were far apart in distance and time, they will always be with us. So they're always going to be a part of our Sangha in the sharing of the Nembutsu and our good memories of our times together. So they will always be close in our hearts. And Dharma School wanted to give the family a little something because we really appreciate everything that they do, with Tricia playing the piano so beautifully in the morning and joining us in classes. The kids join us in classes, and Aaron bringing the kids every Sunday. That's so wonderful. So we want to give you a little something for the travel. And this is something that I learned from just my short travel to Kansas. Kansas is halfway in the United States, right in the middle of the United States. So I didn't have to travel as far as this family is going to travel. But what I found was helpful was to have a little something that we could every day pack and get ready and have in the car so we wouldn't have to unpack everything and get it out. So it's just it's a laundry basket. All you do is every day you put everything in here you're going to need in the car for that day, and then Aaron and Tricia can just drive on if they need to, and maybe Junie and Tezrin can entertain themselves. So would the family please come up? And this is for you from Dharma School. Thank you for everything that you've done. song, I'd just like to acknowledge and thank them. Okay. Okay. Wow, these kids are strong. Okay, thank you so much. So this concludes the Dharma School message for today, and I just want to let's close with the reading that we did in the very beginning. And this is from Reverend David Matsumoto. It's AAA, Awareness, Authenticity, Appreciation. Shin Buddhism is at heart a path. It is a path of practice, the path of saying the Nembutsu. It is a journey of transformation and growth, but reaching the destination is not the goal. Rather, the purpose of walking the path is simply in the walking. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Butsu. Namo Butsu. Thank you.
We're going to miss you, kiddos. Really, really. You big kiddos, too. I truly want to thank Nancy and Junko for this very well-earned and heartfelt thank you and farewell. Now, will the Sangha please stand for the Gatha Say Namo Amida Butsu? It's on page 133. Trisha's going to play for us.
Thank you. You may be seated.
Little extras there. One thing that our little family group here did not know we were going to be doing until, a day ago? Reverend Smitty? We're going to be celebrating June and July birthdays because, as you know, this is our last formal gathering because next week is going to be the Father's Day picnic and just a lot of fun stuff that we're going to be doing that Junior YBA is helping us coordinate. So, let's see. Yeah, it's unusual for us to celebrate the birthdays. We'd like to invite everyone who was born in June or July to please step forward so we can sing to you with our beautiful operatic voices. So come up and offer Oshoko, please. Don't be shy, come on up. And yeah, just stand over here in a line.
Okay, so you have to say your name and your birthday.
Greg, July 14.
What's your name?
Avery, June 13. Junie, July 14.
Kobe, June 17th.
Sylvia, June 20th.
Hiroshi, June 4th.
Bob, June 16th.
Yasuko, June 30.
Arturo, July 18th.
Julia, July 13th.
Seems so improvisable. You know what I'm trying to say. Okay, and because Trisha's here, hit those keys. Everybody sing. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Dharma friends. Happy birthday to you. Okay, and I think we're going to do something. Oh, okay, you get to take a birthday prize. Now, some of you grown men may turn around and go, I don't know, but you'll find something adorable there for your use. So please help yourselves and enjoy your birthday.
Okay, are there any announcements today?
Hi, I'm Bill Teague. There are handouts in the back, two educational events coming up, new scams and how to avoid them. June 29th here after service in the Sangha Hall with our own Jason Schmidt. And then the next Shukatsu End of Life Planning Seminar will be taking place in the Annex Hall Saturday, July 26th. Our guest speaker there, besides Dr. Mitsutomita, will be Sean Takeuchi, who is the currently he's the assistant police chief of San Diego, talking about first responders in a situation where they need to deal with a sudden death. So anyway, please pick up a reminder if you'd like. We hope to see you. Thank you.
Hello, the Junior YBA has received the Obon t-shirts. Here's what they look like. So we will be distributing them in the hospitality room, so if you ordered some, pick it up. But we do not have any extras at the moment, so thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I just want to say on behalf of the Bazaar Committee, we want to thank everyone that came last weekend and helped us for the weeks before that. And we really appreciate it. It was very successful. Thanks to all of you. So next year, 2026, it's going to be a special year, 100 years. So we will be in contact with get many, many more volunteers for next year. So save the date. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Ann Ong, and I just wanted to announce that this summer on Saturday, August 23rd, we are going to have a yoga and Buddhism all-day workshop. And it will be presented by Bob Matsueda, who's a certified yoga teacher and yoga therapist by the National Government of India. And if you want more information on him, there's yoga workshops on the BCA website. And we'll have the registration and everything opening this summer, and it will be on the BCA website as well. And it will be an introduction to yoga, and will provide an overview of what the practice of yoga is and how it supports Jodo Shinshu Buddhism. It will be kind of centered on wellness. So if you have any questions, please see me. Thank you. Saturday, August 23rd, all day. Thank you.
Good morning. Just a quick reminder for Buddhist Women's Association. I'll be selling panko downstairs in the dining room, $3 a package. No samples this time, but look forward to the next one.
Good morning, everyone. Just wanted to remind you that we're currently running a school supplies donation drive. We're partnering with Hope for San Diego to provide school supplies to underserved children in our community. So that's running until June 29th. We're collecting certain school supplies. The list of items that are needed are on the collections box downstairs outside of the office. So just want to thank people who already put some stuff there. I've seen some backpacks and things like that. So thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. So Dharma School will be having their end of the year celebration at Roar Park next Sunday, June 15th, and we invite the whole Sangha to come join us. Dharma School will be providing hot dogs and hamburgers, and we welcome if you want to bring a side dish or a dessert, that would be great, but the entire Sangha is welcome to join us 10 o'clock at Roar Park next Sunday, June 15th, and we'll have the Junior YBA is planning some fun games for everyone, so hope to see you there.
Good morning. A lot of announcements today. I have one. I've made a couple already, but this one is for our, it's Obon. It's officially Obon season. Obons have begun. I believe Arizona's was yesterday. Fresno's was last week. Ours will be coming up on August 2nd. But this is for our, where Temple is chartering a bus to Las Vegas for their Obon. It's the weekend of August 15th through the 17th. The Obon is actually on the 16th of August. And it's a 2-night stay at the Main Street Hotel in downtown. And the cost is $290 per person. For double occupancy, single occupancy is $375, and if you want to go bus only, it's $115. Bus only means that you have your own arrangements and everything. But if you're interested, you can see me. If you'd like to make a reservation, and we'll be taking reservations up until early part of July. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the celebration. Thank you. Thank you. So, take care, everybody. Have a great summer. Bye-bye.
So on behalf of our family, I just wanted to say thank you so much. I've been coming to the temple in and out since 2013, and it all started from Bonodori, really. And then I got wrapped into, hey, why don't you come to service? And then I got hooked with the food and the people are just so kind. And it's, when I first started, I was single and childless, and to see my family growing and coming to the temple with me, it's been such a blessing and an honor and privilege to be around such wonderful people. And I didn't expect today the service to be themed with us in a sense. And I just want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you so, so much.
I want to say something.
What do you want to say?
Take care. Bye-bye. Wait, I'm going to message you.
Roll that one up. All right. Let's see. Next week, as Lisa mentioned, we have our temple picnic. In regards to those watching our live stream, next week we will not have a live stream service, so you guys have to be showing up to Chula Vista to see our service next week. Our next scheduled live stream with our service will be, I believe, the following Sunday, June 22nd. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Our Dharma School students are now invited to offer incense and then go downstairs quietly to their classes.
Please turn to page 96 to recite the Vandana and T Sarana. We'll be reading together from the beginning where it says leader.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Homage to him, the exalted one, the enlightened one, the supremely awakened one. Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Namo Kie Butsu. Namo Kie Ho. Namo Kie So. Gasho Namanda, 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 Namanda.
Reverend Smitty will now share her Dharma message.
I'm going to apologize ahead of time. I can't compete with Big B, the Oshoko song. Please join me in Gasho. The fragile nature of human existence underlies both the young and the old, and therefore we must, one and all, turn to the teaching of the Buddha and awaken to the ultimate source of life. By so understanding the meaning of death, we shall come to fully appreciate the meaning of this life, which is unrepeatable and thus to be treasured above all else. By virtue of true compassion, let us realize the unexcelled value of our human existence, and let us live with the Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu, in our hearts. Namo Amida Butsu, Namandab, Namandab, Namandab. That reading is of Reverend Taitetsu Uno's translation of Renryo Shonin's Hakotsu no Sho, or the letter on white ashes. And we often read a translation of Renryo's words at funerals and memorial services. I feel I've been doing quite a few of those lately and have a couple more coming up this week. And those words remind us of the fragility of life and the impermanency of life and the preciousness of life. And other than, like I said, doing so many services lately, these words came to mind as I was watching and reading the news about that was covering Israel's war with Hamas and the Russian-Ukrainian war. In case you had forgotten, it was on October 7th of 2023 that Hamas led an attack from Gaza into Israel that killed almost 1,200 people and took another 251 people captive. And according to Israeli government figures, this is what their side of the story was that had happened. And Israel responded with a military campaign to destroy Hamas and free the hostages. But
really is something that escalated so that now the number of Palestinians killed in Gaza this past 20 months has surpassed 50,000, according to health officials in the Gaza. And this figure includes those identified by name and those who are missing and presumed dead under the mass amount of rubble there. And among those killed, 17,000 are children, according to Gaza media. And this disproportionate amount is partly due to Gaza's young population, in that 40% of the population are under 14 years old. Estimating the exact number of deaths in the Russia-Ukraine war is difficult due to the ongoing nature of this conflict and the limitations of data collection in a war zone. But since Russia invaded Ukraine in February of 2022, it's been estimated that 250,000 Russian soldiers have been killed, and between 60 to 100,000 Ukrainian soldiers have been killed. And the Office of the United Nations High Commission for Human Rights has verified 13,134 civilian deaths in Ukraine as of the end of April this year. However, the OHCHR acknowledges that the actual numbers of civilian deaths are likely to be much higher because of the challenges of verification, particularly in areas that are controlled by Russia. So those are statistics. They're not names, they're not individuals, they're not necessarily friends and family. Those are just numbers. We often don't even think of those as people. The fact that there have been over 50,000 deaths in Gaza and a combined 310 to 350,000 deaths in Ukraine is just mind-numbing to me. It reminds me of a quote that's often attributed to the Soviet Union leader, Joseph Stalin, that while a single death is a tragedy, a million deaths is a statistic. And while research shows that it was unlikely that Stalin actually said those exact words, it's certainly a statement which expresses how the loss of a friend, loved one, coworker, or even an acquaintance is felt as a sharp sting or a deep ache, yet the shock of mass mortality is beyond our comprehension. And so it's sometimes just downplayed that so many deaths have occurred in these wars. And of course, we haven't had a war, thankfully, of that kind with the U.S. involved to this magnitude in recent times. So what came to mind to me was that at the height of the coronavirus pandemic, the U.S. officially surpassed 1 million COVID-19 deaths in May of 2022. That was only 3 years ago. And I recall watching or reading news stories that focused on individuals hospitalized and dying from COVID, rather than just reporting these numbers of the cases of deaths. And I found that I gained a better appreciation in that context for the fragility and permanency and the preciousness of life, of individual lives. Many of us here perhaps have had COVID, and some of us more than once, but fortunately most of us recovered without severe complications. Yet our experiences certainly amplified the truth of our own mortality, especially early in the pandemic, before vaccines and better treatments became available. So for me, having COVID highlighted the fact that I'm in no hurry to rush toward the end of this life, no matter how that might happen. And Buddhist teachings remind us of how fragile and unrepeatable this life is. Shakyamuni Buddha taught that we all experience specific human sufferings associated with things like old age, illness, and death. And many of us learn through personal experience, either our own or through that of loved ones, that once we get ill, we have little control over our own bodies, and life seems to become even more precious to us. But we shouldn't have to experience illness or death on a personal level to understand how truly precious life is. You know, life is precious regardless of our own current state of health. Life is precious whether the U.S. is engaged in senseless war or if people halfway around the globe are engaged in war. And we're occasionally awakened to this truth only to forget it again when we and our loved ones are out of danger or experience good health. And no matter what our state of health, we cling to this life that we know, despite the suffering we experience in this realm, because it is the life that we know. So recalling the news stories that focused on individuals hospitalized with or dying from COVID in those early days of the pandemic, or recent stories of those who are suffering with wounds from war, this clinging to life becomes very evident. I never heard a story of anyone with COVID who said that they were in a hurry to die of the disease. And I have yet to come across a news story of anyone who's a casualty of war that said that they were in a hurry to die from their wounds. Many healthcare workers relate stories of patients who beg to have their health restored and to have this life in samsara extended. And we cling to this life in samsara. We cling to our very suffering because it's the life we know. There's a section of Tanisho, section 9, also known as a record in lament of divergences, that covers this very topic. And if you didn't know, Tanisho is a collection of interactions with Shinran Shonin as they were recalled by a very close follower of his named Yuyenbo. And I'd like to share this passage from Tanisho with you and share some thoughts about this particular section. And it begins with a question posed by Yuyenbo to his teacher, Shinran. And although I say the Nembutsu, the feeling of dancing with joy is faint within me, and I have no thought of wanting to go to the Pure Land quickly. How should it be for a person of the Nembutsu? When I asked the master this, he answered, I too have this question, and the same thought occurs to you, Yuyenbo. When I reflect deeply on it, by the very fact that I do not rejoice at what should fill me with such joy that I dance in the air and dance on the earth, I realize all the more that my birth is completely settled. What suppresses the heart that should rejoice and keeps one from rejoicing is the action of our blind passions. Nevertheless, the Buddha, knowing this beforehand, called us foolish beings possessed of blind passions, and thus becoming aware that the compassionate vow of other power is indeed for the sake of ourselves, who are such beings, we find it all the more trustworthy. Further, having no thought of wanting to go to the Pure Land quickly, we think forlornly that we may die even when we become slightly ill. This is the action of our blind passions. It's hard for us to abandon this old home of pain, where we have been transmigrating for innumerable kalpas down to the present, and we feel no longing for the Pure Land of peace, where we have yet to be born. Truly, how powerful our blind passions are. But though we feel reluctant to part from this world, at the moment our karmic bonds to this Saha world run out and helplessly we die, we shall go to that land. Amida pities especially the person who has no thought of wanting to go to the Pure Land quickly. Reflecting on this, we feel the great vow of compassion to be all the more trustworthy and realize that our birth is settled. If we had the feeling of dancing with joy and wishing to go to the Pure Land quickly, we might wonder if we weren't free of our blind passions. Thus were his words. So the question that prompts this discussion really contains two statements of confession made by Yuyenbo. The first confession is that although I say the Nembutsu, the feeling of dancing with joy is faint within me. And the second divulgence is, I have no thought of wanting to go to the Pure Land quickly. So these admissions are followed by Yuyenbo's question of how should it be for a person of the Nembutsu? So the question that Yuyenbo is really asking is more like, what's wrong with me? Or am I doing something wrong or incorrectly? Am I misunderstanding the teachings? Perhaps Yuyenbo is even doubting that he should know of what he should know of Amida Buddha and Shinjin or the Pure Land. And in a way, he's asking, why don't I feel joy every time I say Namo Amida Butsu? And he's also asking, Should I want to die soon so I can go to the Pure Land? Those are all actually really good questions, and each can be interpreted of the words, how should it be for a person of the Nembutsu? You know, maybe you've wondered similar things in the past, particularly when you encounter a death in your life of a loved one. And we just are observing Shotsuki Hoyo for this month, and so we sort of wonder about these things. I certainly have experienced these doubts and questions, but what I find even more interesting in being able to relate to Yuenbo's confessions and question is the response that Shinran provides. Shinran doesn't admonish or discourage Yuenbo. Instead, he tells his follower, in what I can only assume was a pastoral tone, that I too have had this question. And then he says it's remarkable that the same thought occurs to you, Yuenbo. So how comforting it must have been to find out that a teacher of Shinran's stature experienced moments of doubt and uncertainty himself. So Yuenbo expresses his desire to continue his life as a human being, a life that he knows, but a life filled with delusions and suffering, rather than to move on to the life of a truly awakened being, a life unknown to him, but a life in the Pure Land of bliss. And I think we're not all that dissimilar to Yuenbo. You know, we cling to our lives full of our material desires and personal comforts that people of Shinran's time couldn't possibly even imagined. And we fear physical suffering and loss of our lives, whether it's brought about by war or illness or disease, famine, or getting hit by the Amazon delivery truck. You know, in his response to Yuenbo, Shinran assures him, and therefore also assures us, that he isn't the only one with such doubts, and he affirms that the compassionate vow of Amida is indeed for the sake of each of us. And Shinran confirms that the Pure Land path is right for himself, and he lets Yuenbo know that it's right for Yuenbo, and thereby letting us know that it's right for each of us, even in this century. In the second part of section 9 to Tanisho, Shinran continues to explain to Yuenbo, and of course to us as well, that craving for an attachment to the illusion of permanence is the root of our problems. We all find it hard to abandon this old home of pain, he says, and we cling to this Saha world even with our dying breath. So in other words, this may be an unfair, sometimes I would use the word crappy, but you might be offended by that. So this might be an unfair and pain-filled world, but it's our unfair and pain-filled world. Yet immeasurable wisdom and compassion takes pity on our human condition, especially the person who has no thought of wanting to go to the Pure Land quickly, and makes it all the more certain that our birth there is truly settled. So suffering is not only our suffering, it's the suffering that all experience. And fear and doubt are not only our fear and doubt, they're the fear and doubt that all experience. And the power of immeasurable wisdom and compassion overcomes all of our insecurities, our attachments and delusions and fears and doubts to assure us that our birth in the Pure Land of peace is actually settled, even if we aren't in a rush to get there. So we really are living in an unprecedented time, one of fear and doubt and suffering and death, but the truth is, we aren't the first to say that we live in what's thought to be an unprecedented time. When you think about the 360 to 400,000 deaths due to the war in Gaza and Ukraine, or even the 1.2 million COVID deaths in the U.S. alone, those are really staggering figures. Each death is a statistic, but each death is also a tragedy. That's because each life is fragile, and each life is impermanent, and each life is truly precious. So when we're faced with such grim circumstances, it's understandable that we don't continuously leap with joy. And like Yuenbo, I'm not in any hurry to leave this world, and perhaps you aren't in any hurry to leave this world we know either. That doesn't mean joy can't be found in living a life of the Nembutsu. In fact, it means that we should savor and share the joy when we do encounter it. It means we should treasure this life while we have it, and treasure the lives of all those who are around us. It means that we should respond with Namo Amida Butsu each time we encounter wisdom and compassion, which works tirelessly on behalf of all beings. So don't fret if you're not leaping with joy every time you say the Nembutsu. It's just the recognition of that connection to everything when you say it. And there are times when you will have joy in your heart, and there's times when you'll be filled with sorrow. But it all is part of living a Nembutsu life. Please join me again in Gasho. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda, Namanda, Namanda.
Thank you, Reverend Smitty, for your Dharma message about the Nembutsu life. Next, please rise if you can for the Gatha Ondoksan 2 on page 128. Thank you. Please be seated. We're going to have our closing meditation now. If you could please put your hands together in Gasho. A family is a place where a mind lives with other minds. If these minds love each other, the home will be as beautiful as a flower garden. Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Do some of you feel like this is probably the longest gathering we've had for Dharma School? But it's also the, keep in mind, it's also the last one before we meet again for Dharma School and services in the fall. Right. And, for our Japanese speakers, do we have any Japanese speakers who are staying for the special? I'm sure we do. Okay. Yes, our certified ministerial assistant, Yukari Williams, will be doing that in a few minutes. I'd like to thank Tricia for our music, Nancy and Junko for their presentation, Brevin, and Rick, our tech guys, and anyone else who was responsible for their just making sure that we got through this today, making it possible. Appreciate it very much. Thank you. I have an assistant who's following me everywhere. I'm pretty sure she's going to be living with me. Okay. Okay, I got it. All right, and I really would like to express my appreciation for my namesake Ayako's idea to have our 3 generations of family share the chairing duties this morning. And I should add that, at least in my mind, we had an additional female family member who was helping us from the Pure Land, and that would be my mother, Ritsu Nabeta. Some of you may remember her. She was the first one, who first brought me and my 4 siblings to the temple when we were newbies, just moved down from Northern California. And sadly, she died 16 years ago, 15 years ago, but I can still feel her presence here. She was a talented seamstress, and she made many hobby for us, like the ones we are wearing and that Aya wore. We have some of them in our closets, and she made many for some of you here and to sell at the Oborn-Again shop. So thanks, Mom. And thanks for my name, which your granddaughter has passed along to your great-granddaughter, Aya Namomitabatsu. So if anyone would like to offer incense before leaving, please do so. And we'll see you all downstairs. Chomp on some snacks and in the hospitality room. Thank you so much.
それでは日本語の法話を始めます。合唱をお願いいたします。本願力に相ぬれば、虚しくすぐる人ぞなき、功徳の崩壊満ち満ちて、煩悩の俗水隔てなし。ナマンダール皆さんおはようございます。お元気ですか？ただいま、読みましたのは親鸞上人の、高僧和さん、天神菩薩の教えをもとにした、ご和算でございます。今読んだのは昔の言葉で書かれているので難しいですよね。私にはとっても難しいと思います。ですので、今の言葉で書かれたものをご紹介します。英語でも下の方に書いてあります。本願の働きに出会った者は虚しく迷いの世界にとどまることがない。あらゆる功徳を備えた名号は宝の海のように満ち渡り、濁った煩悩の水であって水であっても何の分け隔てもない。少しはわかりますか？今日はこの本願の働きに出会った者は虚しく迷いの世界にとどまることがないというところを、ご紹介したいと思います。このことについて話したいと思います。本願というのは阿弥陀如来の願いのことでございます。阿弥陀如来が生きとし生けるすべてのものを救いたいという願いを立てられました。それを本願と言います。阿弥陀如来が法蔵菩薩だった時に48個の四十八願というのを立てられまして、この本願はちょうど18番目、18願にあたります。浄土真宗ではこの第18願をとても大事に思っていて、とても大事な願だということにしているので、第18願が本願と言われています。私たちのお寺の京都にある本山は本波本願寺と言います。その本願はこの阿弥陀如来の本願から来ています。ですので阿弥陀如来の本願の働きに出会った者は虚しく迷いの世界にとどまることがない。迷いの世界、私たちは生まれては死に、生まれては死にというのを何度も何度も何千回も繰り返しているそうです。仏教には六道というものがあって、6つの死んだ後に生まれていく世界があります。一番上にあるのが天界または天道というものがあります。ここは天国のような場所で毎日毎日楽しいことばかりあるそうです。でも結局ここに生まれても いつかは死んでしまうそうです。で、天国は天界はお浄土とは全く違うところです。お浄土は迷いの世界ではありません。天界は迷いの世界ですので、苦しみの世界になります。そしてその下にあるのが私たちが住んでいる人間界です。人間界、私たちが住んでいるので、もう説明はいりませんよね。で、その下にあるのがアシュラ道、アシュラ界というのがあります。ここはここに生まれるともう毎日毎日争ってばかりいます。戦いのなかなか苦しい迷いの世界です。その下にあるのが、畜生道、畜生界というのがあります。そこは、動物たちの世界です。私たちのペットやそれから牛や馬や人間以外のすべてのものがこの世界に住んでいます。そして人間界とこの畜生界は行き来することって言ったらおかしいけど、私は動物を触ることができる。動物が人間界から動物を見ることができます。だから人間界とこの畜生界は同じ世界じゃないけど、見ることが見たり触ったりすることができます。その次にあるのがガキ道っていうのがあります。日本語のスラングで子供のことをガキと言いますけれども、これはあんまりいい言葉ではありません。もちろんスラングなので。でもこのガキ道はそういう子供の意味ではなくて、ガキっていうのはいつもお腹を空かしている、ゴーストのようなものです。このガキ道に生まれると、もうお腹が空いて、毎日毎日お腹が空いていて、何か食べようとすると口の前で食べ物が火に変わってしまうそうです。ガキ道もかなりつらい世界です。そして一番下にあるのがもう本当につらいことしかない地獄道です。ここはもう本当にいつもつらい目にあって、ここには絶対に落ちて生まれたくない場所です。親鸞上人は本願の働きに出会ったものは、今ご説明した迷いの世界にとどまることなく、阿弥陀如来の本願力の力でお浄土に生まれることができると言います。だからこの六道6つの世界を生まれては死にを繰り返さなくてよくなります。私この間築地本願寺、東京にある築地本願寺に行ってきました。私は中央仏教学院というセミナリースクールから通信教育コレスポンデンスコースを受けていて、そこで毎年 1回だけ試験があるので、今年も2年生の試験を受けに行ってきました。そして築地本願寺に行って思ったことは、もう観光客がたくさんいるんですね。観光客って分かりますか？分かります？ツーリストのことです。築地本願寺にツーリストがいっぱいいたんです。それで私最初はね、ちょっとなんかがっかりしたっていうか、ちょっとがっかりしました。なんでかって言ったら、あんまり観光客が多いから、このお寺のなんていうのかな、お寺の清らかさとか、その伝統の重さとか歴史とか、そういうものがなんか減ってしまったような気がしました。で、ちょっと残念に思ったんですけれども、最初はそう思ったんです。でもちろんその観光客の方も本堂の中にいらっしゃいました。でも本堂の中にいらっしゃった観光客の方はね、とてもお行儀が良かったです。皆さんとても静かにしていられて、大きい声で話す人もいなければ大騒ぎする人もいなかったです。それだからきっと本堂の中でこのお線香の香りを味わって阿弥陀如来の仏像をご覧になって、そして美しい金色のお内陣を見て、それでそういうすべてのものが観光客の方がそういうすべてのことをなんか感じ取って静かにされていたのかなって思いました。ところで皆さん、この観光客の方も本願の働きに出会ったと思いますか？この観光客の方も、本堂に来られた観光客の方も、迷いの世界にとどまることなく、阿弥陀如来が救ってくださいと思いますか？私はそう思います。このいろんな、国内、日本国内だけではなく、外国から来られた観光客の方もいっぱいいて、その観光客の方も絶対に阿弥陀如来に救われていくんだと思います。築地本願寺にご縁があって、こうしてなんていうのかな、遠い外国から来ているそのトゥーリストの方も築地本願寺に来て、そして阿弥陀如来の本願に触れられて、出会われて、そしてこの虚しい迷いの世界から救っていただける。絶対私はそういうふうに信じます。だからそのツーリストの方もね、とても素晴らしい旅になったのではないかと思います。だから築地本願寺に観光客の方がたくさん見えてても、むしろそんな悲しがるよりか喜ぶべきだなって私は思いました。皆さんはもう本願の働きに出会っていますから、迷いの世界にとどまることはありません。今日は私の話を聞いてくださいましてどうもありがとうございました。それでは合唱と礼拝で終わりにします。ナマンダーブスナマンダーブスナマンダーブス。ありがとうございました。